Hey guys. Okay, so I know I'm late. Please forgive me for my tardiness. I decided tonight when I got home that Buster was gonna get a bath, I was gonna get a shave, and then like 30 minutes before 8, before I decided to before the time I decided to do this, I was like, I should go and get some snacks. So I went to the dollar store and I gave myself a budget, right? Because my usual rule with the dollar store, where is all of this fluff coming from, is that it's the dollar store, right? So like, ugh, it's white too. Oh, it's from the towel, the bath towel. Um, so I went there and it ate up a lot of my time trying to stick to the budget because usually I'm just like throwing stuff in the basket and go. I realized I'm extremely indecisive. I'm like 45 minutes worth of indecisive, and I still went over the budget anyway. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. We are talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac, this recent episode that just happened last Sunday. Hello, everybody that's joined. Um, and all in all, I think it was an okay episode, but we're going to get all into that, right? I feel like the show opened with, oh my God. Did it open with, no, it didn't. Well, I think it opened with Wendy. Let's get her out of the way. Wendy's having a wind down with Wendy. Hello, babe, looking good. Okay, let's talk. Absolutely, yes. Hey, LaTanya. So, like, Wendy's having a wine dine with Wendy event, right? The theme of this episode was two ladies are having events, right? So Wendy's having a wine down with Wendy event to encourage voting in the African American communities. It also feels like another one of those like women empowerment seminars. Wendy is smart, she's intelligent, so she really got to show us that today. She put all 4 of those degrees at work, and we thank her for that, right? But we're sitting down, she's saying she want to host this event, and of course she's not inviting Monique, right? Wendy was wearing me out this episode. I want to know, like, who appointed her, accountability police. Like, we're going to get into it, but I was never so over the word accountable until this episode. And it was mostly Wendy, right? So she's having this event. We cut over to, believe Karen and Ray. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to connect it all. I watched it earlier today, so I'm trying to like piece it together in my mind. I apologize, you guys. But we cut over to Karen and Ray. They're going to a life coach. As Karen has said before, Ray doesn't fool around with therapy, right? So they go to a life coach. She seems cool. I actually really like the life coach. She didn't seem like she was asking necessary questions, and it didn't feel like it was coming from I want this as fame kind of moment, right? And I think most of the therapists or whatever on these shows, we really enjoy them for that aspect, So they get in there. Oh, okay. It's all clicking. They get in there, and Ray is telling Karen that, he's on his 3rd retirement, which, how old is Ray? Like 3 retirements? I'm thinking retirement, and correct me if I'm wrong, in the structure of being with a place 20 plus years, right? So is Ray in his 80s? Even if he like got a job at 15, right? Which I'm sure was like the working age when he was coming up. That's a lot. So I can understand. I'm not taking up for Ray, but I can definitely understand why Ray would want to settle down at this point, going through 3 retirements. I think the show opened with Giselle and Juan going. We'll get to the ring situation. But they're talking in this therapy session, right? Karen and Ray. And Ray is saying, he does want the doting wife. And for a lot of years, it's just Karen's world has been him in the house, right? And my favorite moment of this session is when Karen did like a little lip quiver where she was ready to curse him out and she caught herself. And she said, "Really, Ray? Okay." So I think he said the stuff about, house and kids, right? And she was like, "Really, Ray? All of that that happened down there?" That was Raven. That was Raven. That's her daughter. That was Karen saying, "I just got Raven's name. It's Ray and Karen put together." That was Karen saying, "Did this really say that?" But she said, "Really, Ray?" The hand was over here. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed seeing that in Karen. I love how Karen holds herself together and she gets what she wants to say across effectively. It comes up again later on in the episode, and we're going to talk about it because we're going to get there, right? I think I may have skipped it, but let's get into this whole Giselle meeting Juan at the jewelry store and them looking for Robin's ring, right? I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know stuff. I'm not impressed by diamonds. I don't know. I like rings that are different. Unless it's a very unique ring and a very unique way to do the diamonds, I guess I can do a diamond, right? But Morganite being an eternal stone, I kind of get that being, reasonable Robin's favorite stone just because it's eternal. I don't know if it comes in different colors. I don't know if it's meant to look like a diamond. There's a lot of places out there that says it's diamond-like. I'm not spending $8,900 on a ring. I can't bring myself to do it. So whether they were real or fake diamonds, I mean, that's an investment. Like, it's a decent car to most people, right? And what happened to Robin's old ring? Why is she getting a new ring? I guess because this is a whole new engagement. I think her and Juan are putting way too much on this situation. I mean, they've been together forever. We're jumping into it, right? The show of it all. Is it for us? Is it for them? Tell me, you guys, okay, if you were married to someone, right? And you never moved out from that someone. Y'all have been together the whole time. You've had this, he's had whatever, whatever works for them, right? But they've lived in the same house the whole time. Or you and this imaginary person that's lived in the same house the whole time. Would you like, if the opportunity represented itself, would you go through the whole fanfare of getting married again, right? I'm so bad, but I am the costume jewelry queen. No, listen, I love costume pieces because most things are a trend, right? You get your classic diamond pieces, your little studs or little necklace or whatever, bracelet maybe. You get your classic diamond pieces, and that's it, right? But like things that are fun, like this is totally fun. This is costume. I'm not spending a grip on this because this whole aesthetic may go out of style. So, like I feel like most jewelry is meant to be trendy. Door knockers are back in, and for a big long time, those hoop door knocker bamboo things, they weren't the move. Now the 90s are back and people are wearing them again. And I know a lot of ladies out there that threw their real door knockers away or whatever are a little upset because jewelry is like clothes. It trends, right? So they're looking at this big Morganite ring, right? But a couple that lost a lot, they should know better. They should. I agree, Latanya. No, okay. I think, of course, it's realistic for them to want the magic of it all, right? But we've been through the magic of it all. We've seen that movie, We've seen how that movie ended, and I'm not sure. Oh my God. Okay. So I saw it through the screen. It landed. I'm gonna get it next time. But we saw that movie, right? I don't think I'd want to see that movie again. Like, I don't even know if I would go to the wedding and support, but I'd still be giving it this face, right? Like, why are we doing this? They were married, they're cool enough, they're in love. Like, in my mind, they're still married. They were married long before he decided to tell her parents, I hope she gets a better one than a bigger ring. I definitely think she's going to get a better one, right? I feel like he's seen the ride or die in Robin, which apparently that's a quality, ride or die. I'm supposed to put up with your BS. But he's seen that in Robin, and he knows he's not going to get that anywhere else. She's his 80%, right? He's played around, dabbled, and he's seen all the 20%. At least that's my opinion. He expresses his want to marry Robin to her parents, and they gave it way less energy than I'm giving it right now. Like, her parents don't seem really interested. In fact, I think it's because they've been married so long, like married, and something about like getting divorced and then getting remarried feels like you're playing with marriage because you would have stayed with it. Like, Nene and Greg's relationship to me now isn't as lovey-dovey as I thought it was before because of that divorce period, only for them to go and get remarried. I think I wouldn't have gone to hers either. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. But before one announces to her parents, while the boys are there, and I love this episode with the boys. They just seem like real kids this episode, I was feeling her younger son when he was just like, and it goes to the left again, right? Because he kept missing. They were playing bowling. They were at a bowling alley while all this was happening. So before he proposes, Robin brings up to her parents that she had that about her tax issues, right? And she was really nervous about it. And her mom was like, "Oh, girl, I seen that on Instagram," which that is frightening to me, right? Because like Robin's parents are as old as my grandparents, and I love that they're old and they're not interested in technology. I also don't want to teach them, and I'm sure my younger cousins don't want to teach them as well, because they get to be ignorant to these kind of things, right? Like, I'm not always the person they raised. So if they went on Instagram and were able to see my business before I got to tell them, I'd be a little, but Robin handled it very well. She was like, "Oh, why didn't you bring it up to me?" And they said, "Well, we figured you would bring it up to us," which is good on her parents, right? But she was like, "I figured you would bring it up to us." And, a lot less terrifying than Robin was, making it out to be. But that's reasonable Robin for you, right? I think before we got to the bowling alley, though, we did see Monique in this episode. That was really nice. We were talking about the fight again. She brought over Chris's stepdad. And, they were talking about the fight and how she was disappointed in getting to that point. And, they were doing all of this talking while she was filling up goodie bags for her Not for Lazy Moms podcast, for her Not for Lazy Moms podcast. And she decides while they are there to reach out to the rest of the ladies, right? She reaches out to everybody except for Giselle, I believe. So, she calls Robin first, which I really think Monique should have called Karen first. That would have set the tone for all the calls, right? You either call Karen first or call her last, right? Because she's going to be your energy booster to uplift you to deal with the rest of these heifers. Or after you've dealt with all these heifers, she's going to be like your energy boost that gets you excited for it again, right? She kind of called them out of order, right? Because she calls Robin first. And to be completely honest, I would have hung up on Robin. Because Robin sounded all kind of exhausted and exasperated talking to Monique, right? Don't feel like Monique was right. We're going to get into that. But I also don't like when somebody is just exhausted on the phone with me. Like, I don't need to hear all of that when we're on the phone, because it's all voices, right? But you exhaling and inhaling. Monique's like, so I'm having an event. I want to invite you out and I want to extend it, right? Robin's like, let me see. I guess I might come. I would have clicked. I would have been like, oh, whatever you're doing, don't let me disturb you. Like, why did you even pick up if it was going to be all the, Anyways, you can tell by Robin's answer. Robin says she might go, right? I'm of the school. If it's a maybe, it's a no. See, I would have hung up on her. See, LaTanya, that's what I'm saying, right? Yes, got it. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Like, all of that, I couldn't have dealt with it. So I couldn't have dealt with it. So Monique gets off the phone with Robin, who gave her a maybe. Like I was saying, if it's a maybe, it's a no. If it's I might come, don't expect me to be there. I'm 9 out of 10 not going to show up on a might. But on a yes, I'm going to be there, right? So she gets her no from Robin. And then she goes on to call Karen. Karen's like, yes, girl, of course. I'm so excited. I'm going to be there, whatever, supporting her girls like Karen should, Once again, we're going to get into that later. But she's like, yeah, I'm going to be there, whatever. Whoop, whoop. Then she calls, Saint Wendy. And Wendy's like, you weren't feeling remorseful and blah, blah, blah. And girl, I don't care. Yes or no? Because I didn't ask you to put my level of remorse on a scale. I asked you, were you going to show up, right? You could have easily said no without the explanation. But Court Justice Wendy is like, you weren't feeling remorseful, therefore you do not deserve my presence at your event, right? Whatever. Wendy, no one wanted you there anyway. But obviously she extends an invitation out to Ashley as well. We just don't see that on camera. Let's get into the event, right? Right before the event, Monique's going over what's going to be talked about or what's off limits to talk about. And the moderator, lady with the pink hair, said, like, girl, We're not going to talk about that. What? Because, okay, Monique doesn't want to talk about the fight at this podcast. Not for lazy moms, right? Want to know why she doesn't want to talk about it? Because it doesn't fit the not for lazy moms image, right? Which leads me back. Monique probably was not wrong for putting her hands on Candace, right? But putting her hands on Candace did not enhance not for lazy moms. If so, it wouldn't have been off topic, right? So the moderator, with this information that we're not allowed to talk about the fight, of course, the first question she asked, or the first question we see her ask, right, is about the fight. I think that lady ruined her career on live television. Well, not live, but on television right off bat, right? Anyone who, after that point, would have wanted her to be an MC for their event now won't hire her because she can't take simple direction. We say we're not going to talk about it. She brings it up the first thing, right? I was really annoyed with that. Like, why couldn't you respect the wishes of the person that was paying you? She's not on the show, so we're not going to give her that much life. One of the people, out of the two people that Monique thought she could count on to be at this event, showed up. That was Ashley. Ashley showed up looking good and coming with the mess, like Ashley usually does. You know, Karen said she couldn't make it. I'm trying to talk with this in my mouth. I'm sorry. Karen said she couldn't make it. She was sick. Monique felt like, in confessional, Monique said she showed up to all of Karen's things, even when she was 8 months pregnant out to here. That was your choice, Monique. It was your choice, you know. Sure, if you told Karen that you were 8 months pregnant out to here, she would have understood that you couldn't have come. The confessionals wear me out sometimes. But neither here nor there. Karen doesn't show up. She's sick. Ashley and Monique are talking before the event start. I'm so sorry. This is all out of order. But they're talking before the event start, right? Monique feels like, I've done all this changing, but none of the ladies want to show up to see the change. On the other hand, the ladies are saying, it's been 2 weeks. How could you have 2 weeks since the incident? How have you changed thus far, right? So I think what has happened in all of this, right, is what we're seeing it happen, progress pretty quickly, right? So the fight happens, right? A week later, Candace presses charges. A week after that is Monique's Not for Lazy Moms event, right? So between the time of the fight and Candace pressing charges, Monique was on Instagram liking things, telling the story to the blogs. Even if she wasn't telling the story to the blog, someone in her camp, because that is the normal narrative for Monique. Someone in her camp was telling the story to the blogs, and she had met up somewhere in this first week with the other ladies not being remorseful, so much to the point where it left a taste in justified court-right Wendy's mouth to speak right before this event happened, if we're trying to keep on with the timeline, right? So is it fair for the ladies to not trust Monique's growth? Yes. Did it feel like it happened overnight? Yeah, because you beat her up, you bragged about it, you told people, your camp told people about it. The charges are still fresh. So I can get that. And then not only that, we're going to screw the rest of this show. I'm going to talk about this solely, right? And Karen getting Candace together. Karen is, okay, this kind of all works together. Karen is prolonging Monique's icing out, right? Her being neutral is the reason Monique can't get back into the clique. Like, because 2 weeks is a short period of time, right? 2 weeks is enough time. It is a short time, but it is also a time to reflect and get over something, right? So what is ending up happening here, I did a little research, okay? We got 4 sorority girls on the show, right? Candace Dillard is a Delta. She's Legacy Delta because her mom is also a Delta. We've got Reasonable Robin. She's a Delta, right? We've got Giselle, a.k.a., and Wendy, a.k.a. Now, these are the 4 ladies that are like icing this Monique out, right? But Team Not Sorority, Ashley and Karen, really don't have any power, right? The reason Ashley is being a pass for hanging out with Monique is because Ashley wasn't there for the fight. So her opinion on Monique not being there gets to differ. Because Karen was there for the fight, Karen needs to also ice Monique out, right? Now, if they all 5 of them got together and they iced her out for those 2 weeks, when she came back ready for her event, I believe they would have been a little bit more open and receptive to hearing what Monique had to say. But because Karen continues to be Monique's friend, and they don't see Monique, because Karen is there, right? This is why Karen is getting it as hard as she's getting it. Because Karen is there, Monique isn't reflecting on what she needs to be reflecting on to apologize to Candace and the group. You get what I'm saying? Like, okay, when I first moved here, I had a house full of roommates, right? I was the only person in the house with an actual job, right? So I would go to work and I would come home and the house would be in disarray. Somebody's not talking to somebody, blah, 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 right? Okay. So I would enter this house. There was, I believe there was 5 of us, a lot of people, right? So I'd enter this house and we're not talking. And right now we're not talking to O, right? And I like people for liking people. I don't stop talking to people because everyone else says stop talking to people like Karen is, right? But that makes it harder for the person who's being iced out, right? Because let's say I would get home and Jay isn't talking to O, right? So nobody else in the house is talking to O because O has offended Jay, right? I come home all lost in a daze, right? And I feel the tension. Don't nobody want to tell me what's going on. And I see that O is being iced out, right? So I go over to O. We're not talking about the situation, but we're talking. We over there, now we're over in the corner. We're sniggling, right? Because we can't really laugh because she's in trouble. She's in trouble with the rest of the group, the rest of society, right? I, at that point and at that moment, unknowingly thinking I'm being nice, I'm intensifying her punishment. Because now the rest of the house is pissed off. You know, she had the nerve to offend Jay, and now she's over there with Desmond, sniggling and stuff. You know, a sniggle is like a giggle on the whisper. You know, that's what you do in church. You sniggle in church. But if Karen were to just ice Monique out for a couple of days, Monique would be back in the group. That's all I'm saying, right? But that's not how it's going on the show. Karen is doubling down, and I rides with Karen doubling down. when she laid into Candace, because Wendy was talking politics and gaslighting and screen shielding and all of that to the ladies upstairs, right? She was also talking mad crap about, Monique not feeling remorseful at the table with the main ladies and Ashley, right? Ashley is a main lady, but she's not on the whole we don't like Monique train, right? So Ashley's defending. Ashley's opinion don't matter because she wasn't there. Unfortunately, that's just how it plays out. So she's defending Monique. Wendy is getting riled up and feeling like you can't be defending Monique, right? Now Karen and Candace have excused themselves to go to the bar, right? This is where they're starting to talk about where their friendship lies. Candace is like, I feel like you're not, bringing Monique to the carpet like you should be, right? Sorority mentality. She should be brought to the carpet, paddled a couple of times, and then she's back with the crew. She not, y'all over there sniggling, she liking things, and you still want to be her friend, right? Karen says, listen, you don't tell me who I can be friends and not be friends with, right? I'm a grown woman. I'm as much as I can be, your big sister, your auntie figure, I appreciate that. And just like I am in the paint for Monique now, I was in the paint for you last year. And then not only that, Karen has been in the paint for Candace since she got on the show. She shared with Candace, don't tell these ladies all your business. When Monique was saying, I'll drag you and all pregnant and all, Karen was right by her side. And then with the whole, butter knife incident, I don't want to make the butter knife incident extremely huge. Apparently, everybody feels like her with the butter knife equates to Monique beating her up this year. But Karen wasn't wrong. She has been there for Candace in the past. And just because she's there for Monique doesn't mean she's not there for Candace. I forgot to tell y'all why Ashley was being messy. She told Monique, because this is what gets on my nerve a little bit about Ashley, is she's an I heard person, right? And I heard, I can't stand an I heard, Like, if you are not the source, if you are not second hand to the source, right? Like, receiving it from the source. I don't want to hear what you heard, So, Ashley is telling Monique that she heard, from Karen, which is the source, this one time, that Candace asked her what she would do, and Karen said, "I would, if it were me, I would press charges." Once again, if it were me, it was not Karen. I can see Ashley also feeling like I felt in the previous video where I said it feels a little gaslighting. It feels like, girl, it's me. This is why you don't be in the middle. This is why it's not a healthy place to be in the middle. Retract from both lies. It's going to be hard until they can get it together, or see each person on the sneak. You don't have to be all boastful that Monique is your friend, No, then that'd be fake. Karen's doing the right thing. Karen hasn't gotten to where Karen is without doing the right thing. So, where was we? Oh, Karen and Candace are talking. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm exhausted. So Karen and Candace are talking. They're downstairs. And, Karen is reading Candace the riot act. I'm going to ride for her, just as I've written for you in the past. I really find it insulting. She even goes to tell Candace, your mind is powerful, and so is your mouth. Yes, Karen. Get her together. Yes. And like the most auntie, and you can see it almost felt like it was registering to Candace. And you can also see that there is a respect there between Karen and Candace that like, I feel like that line that Karen said, your brain is powerful and also your mouth is as well or whatever. That was like the perfect bait. And you guys know I feel like it's not hard to bait Candace. And because there's a respect for Karen, she let it slide. I think that is a genuine friendship. And I don't like that Candace, the famous victim, not victim, is trying to make Karen choose. All in all, while this is being said, Wendy, steaming from the argument upstairs about Monique, comes downstairs to hear another argument or another discussion about Monique. So she comes in all justified, screaming accountable at Karen, who we have seen be accountable, right? She's not accountable. Wendy, is it not enough that you didn't invite the lady to your event? Like, I know that Monique is wrong, but I'm also not down for anybody treating people super poorly, right? There are things in society that happen just to keep that realm working, outside of calling the cops on Monique, which Candace already did, which later on in the season, it seems like we're going to see the countersuit. Outside of that, the only other way that they can make sure she feels bad for what she has done is by not talking to her, right? But Karen is saying, no, I agree with Karen. I also realize that Karen's behavior in saying no, her stance in saying no, is making this punishment, so to speak, last longer for Monique, right? Because I don't know. I feel like the rest of the season is going to be a hot mess. I'm going to be here for all of it. What else happened in the end of this episode, you guys? Did we end with them at the Robin walked in with a horrible, horrible, oh my God, wig to the event, right? Why are Robin's wigs so like shake and go? I like the one she has in the confessional that's like, her furrower in my Jocelyn Hernandez voice. But that curly with the dark roots and the burgundy, it felt like the outfit was terrible as well, right? She's been inhaling too much of the Giselle. LaTanya, you said the wig was okay. No, it wasn't. No, it was. I'm a little. I feel like, okay, that hair on someone else, Robin can't wear dark hair, right? It washes her out, which is funny enough to say about a person of color. But dark hair washes Robin out. You said Grand Dame. What? I'm not understanding. The Grand Dame. Karen, yeah, it is all right. Like, I think if I'm talking about the same thing. But like with Robin's hair wasn't the move. It was not. I wasn't here for it. It felt shake and go. It feels like if not shake and go, it definitely came in a 27 piece. It came in a box where everything was cut out and you just wrapped it, because it didn't look like it had any movements. It didn't look like she could do one of these, and then you just see like hair, right? It looked like if she did one of these, it'd come right back. You see track, and then it'd come right back. You know what kind of hair I'm talking about? Oh, that's rude, Desmond. That's rude. Who else? Oh, a lot of people loved Candace's outfit, the mustard short suit set. I thought that was really cute. I did not enjoy the shoes with the suit set. I just felt like it was a lot going on with the color and then with the shoes. The suit set itself was such a look to like have the shoes compete with the suit set. Just felt like a lot to me. It was busy. Oh, okay. So Giselle and I'm catching up before we get out of here. Giselle and Pastor Jamal Bryant take a ride after the girls' school event, right? She picks him up at the school, and she is driving him to the airport. At this time, they are talking. She is bringing up the state of their relationship and her wanting to move forward with things, right? And Jamal said, you gave me your boundaries. You said you wanted to continue to keep your individuality. So I've been listening to that and not pushing any further than you want to go, right? That is so respectable. It is. It is. I didn't like it. Like, if I like you and we're giving something a second try or a second go, I might give you certain boundaries, but at a certain point, I'm gonna need you to push them, And whether it's unknowingly or just pushing them to see how far I'm there for where they are on the show, or where it's like Robin don't know she is beautiful. Robin is gorgeous. Reasonable Robin is my favorite Latanya. But back to Giselle, right? She's like, I don't want that. I do want to spend more time with you. And he's like, I'm taking this experience as a new experience, right? You could take an experience as a new experience and not be so cautious. I feel like moving slow works for him as well, right? Like, as long as she wasn't pushing anything, he wasn't going to push anything else because it was working for him, Because feel like if you want, this is just my opinion. It's not right. I know it's not, but I feel like if she has some hits and she has some misses, but I don't think Robin needs a stylist. She might just need a closer friend than Giselle, because Giselle's fashion sense is rubbing off on her, right? Robin's already shopping on a budget. and Giselle can't dress. So like, it's starting to all be a blur to Robin. She doesn't know what fashion is anymore. But back to Jamal. I am jumping all over the place again, but I feel like Jamal is determined to not have good posture. He was all spread out in the Land Rover, which, once again, I don't know. Just sit up, spread, like, whatever. I do feel like that moment in the car was genuine. I liked that Giselle. I liked the vulnerable Giselle. That was a nice light to see her in, you know. Um, oh, somebody shared at the table during Wendy's wind down event that Karen said she had paid some money to raise tax issues, and Giselle said she wants to check on Karen. So I think we're going to see um, Giselle checking on Karen in the future upcoming scenes. We've got a whole lot to cover. It looks like there is a lot of dramatic stuff left in this season. We're on episode 13. Usually these seasons get like 20 episodes. How long is the Real Housewives of Potomac going to be going on for? Because I'm enjoying these live reviews, but I want to get to a place where we're not talking about the fight, where Monique and Candace can be in the same room. And it doesn't seem like we're going to get that this season until the reunion. So it feels like we're just slugging through, where it's like Ashley has an inappropriate opinion because she wasn't there. They want Karen to not be Monique's friend. Candace is not a victim, but you're okay is everywhere. And she can't and none of the other ladies can support Monique in this moment. The only thing of light is Robin's about to get engaged to. And she's so reasonable and so boring that we don't care. You know? You guys, I've gotten loopy. I'm tired. He's rustling and stuff. Do you guys want to see Buster before we go? I'm going to go get him, right? We got all. He's so on the ready, too. He is so on the ready. Give me a second. Actually, he wasn't on the ready. He was sleeping. He's getting that good sleep in. So I'm not going to bother him. I thought I heard him rustling. It was just him adjusting. He sleeps on his back. Sometimes I might post a video. I might post a picture in the community section of this later on, whatever. Thank you all so much for joining me on this video. I'll definitely be a lot earlier next week. I'm so sorry I was behind. I love each and every one of you. Thank you, Latanya, for being in the comments. You made this really fun. And we're going to talk next week, and it may be a little bit more coherent. Anyways, until next time, you guys. Night.